The Life in the Hereafter. What does the Quran say? Translation of Jahan Ifada by Jaz Rasul. Ghulam Ahmad, Parwez, 1969. 5. Meeting with the Sustainer. Rub. When a criminal commits a crime and realizes there is a possibility of punishment, he escapes so that he does not have to face the court. The police calls such a criminal a fugitive. Another example is of an individual who says something wrong behind another person's back, and after this, when he realizes his error, he feels reluctant to face that person. The Quran, while explaining the effectiveness of the law of requital, has stated unequivocally that after committing a crime you cannot run away. You will of a certainty be presented in front of your Rabb, the Sustainer. For this, the Quran has used the term liqai Rabb, meeting Rabb, i.e., meeting face to face with Allah. In this connection, this point is important to understand that liqai Rabb does not mean that human beings are not currently in the presence of Allah and that the meeting will only occur in the hereafter. The concept of going to Allah after death will be addressed later. At this stage, it is important to understand only that this meeting Rabb is like going to court within the human system. The divine system of accountability as per the law of requital means that it is everywhere in front of man, and in this respect man is in Allah's court with every breath that he takes. To understand the meaning of liqai Rabb, it is important to keep this in mind. In some places the Quran also uses another term, rijat lillah, return to Allah. This term does not mean that before birth we were residing with Allah and then we emerged into this worldly life and after death we will return to Him. This concept is not correct. As previously written, Allah is with us constantly and He is closer to us than our jugular vein, and we do everything in His presence. So the idea of coming to this life with birth after parting with Him, and then meeting Him again after death, is a non-Quranic concept. This also means that wherever you are, your every step is moving inexorably towards Allah's law of requital, and you cannot avoid it. Another term, Allahi Rajun, going to Him, also means the same. Since the consequences of human actions can appear during this life and will without doubt appear in the life to come. The terms liqai Rabb and rijat lillah mean that this accountability of human actions is effective throughout this life as well as in the life to come. 5.1 Taiman. Conviction. In liqai Rabb, meeting with Allah. In Surah Inam it is stated that Bani Israel received divine guidance. Moreover, we gave Moses the book, completing our favor to those who would do right, and explaining all things in detail, and a guide and a mercy, that they might iman in the meeting with their Rabb. 6. 154. See also 32:23. In Surah Ra'ad, the Quran states that the divine laws and their purpose have been made clear. Allah is He who raised the heavens without any pillars that you can see. He is firmly established on the throne of authority. He has subjected the sun and the moon to His law. Each one runs its course for a term appointed. He does regulate all affairs, explaining the signs in detail, that you may believe with certainty in the meeting with your Rabb. 13.2. The Quran has referred to the fundamental characteristic of Mu'mineen as being that they always keep in mind that they will be going in front of Allah, therefore their every step is geared in this direction. Who bear in mind the certainty that they are to meet their Rabb, and that they are to return to Him. 2.46. The day that they will go in front of Allah, or in other words, the day that the consequences of the deeds will bear results, they will hear the great news of their success. Their salutation on the day they meet Him will be peace, and He has prepared for them a generous reward. 33.44. Contrary to the above, those who do not have iman in liqai Rabb will be destroyed. Lost indeed are they who treat it as a falsehood that they must meet Allah, until on a sudden the hour is on them, and they say, Ah, woe unto us that we took no thought of it. For they bear their burdens on their backs, and evil indeed are the burdens that they bear. 6:31. See also 10:45. For example, if someone does not even believe that poison can cause death, then he will keep using it and will ultimately die of poisoning. Such people keep an eye on the immediate benefits of life, and their belief is that by obtaining these benefits by whatever means they can, they will have achieved the purpose of their lives. The Quran sums it up by saying, Those who rest not their hope on their meeting with us, but are pleased and satisfied with the life of the present, and those who heed not our signs. 10:7. The Quran states that these people are intoxicated by their selfish interests and blindly continue to persist in this path. If Allah were to hasten for men the ill they have earned, as they would fain hasten on the good, then would their respite be settled at once. But we leave those who rest not their hope on their meeting with us, in their trespasses, wandering in distraction to and fro. 10:11. They find it disgusting to be advised of the difference between what is legitimate and what is illegitimate. They say they are not ready to follow this Quran as it interferes with their unchecked vested interests. And say, if in the place of this Quran you can bring a different Quran or make changes in this Quran according to their desires, then they will listen to your invitation. But when our clear signs are rehearsed unto them, those who rest not their hope on their meeting with us, say, Bring us a reading other than this, or change this, say, It is not for me, of my own accord, to change it. I follow naught but what is revealed unto me. If I were to disobey my Rabb, I should myself fear the penalty of a great day. 10:15. They are told that these are divine laws which are immutable and nothing can be changed in them. Nor can there be any compromise with them whereby man's laws can be mixed with Allah's laws, and consequently they may be saved from the destructive effects of the deeds. Can we alter the effects of poison by mixing it with sugar? Therefore, he who has Iman in the law of requital will have to follow the divine laws. Whoever expects to meet his Rabb, let him work righteousness, and, in the following of his Rabb, admit no one as a partner. 18:110. As noted earlier, man will only be able to follow the righteous path when he knows that following the wrong path will destroy him. If this conviction does not exist, then man will produce thousands of justifications in order to not abandon his wrong path. These are the kind of people about whom the Quran says, they ask why Allah himself does not come before them, or why angels do not descend on them directly. 25:21. This is despite the fact that they pass by the ruins of people gone before, who were destroyed because they did not believe in the law of requital. 25:40. If they had conviction in it, they would not have hesitated to accept the reality that following the wrong path would lead to destruction. 29:5. The person who has conviction in the law of requital, if he ever steps in the wrong direction, believes that by turning and taking the right direction he will be able to compensate for the loss. This is called the mercy of Allah. Contrary to this, an individual who does not believe in the law of requital and thinks that the events which take place in the world occur by chance. If he takes a step in the wrong direction, he has no recourse of saving himself from the results of his wrong deed. Those who reject the signs of Allah and the meeting with Him, it is they who shall despair of my mercy. It is they who will suffer a most grievous penalty. 29:23. Just reflect here for a moment that an individual who has no hope of getting out of the difficulties of his life, what a painful and miserable life he spends. The Quran says about these people, Say, shall we tell you of those who lose most in respect of the deeds? Those whose efforts have been wasted in this life, while they thought that they were acquiring good by their works. They are those who deny the signs of their Rabb and the fact of their having to meet him. Vain will be their works, nor shall we, on the day of judgment, give them any weight. 18. 103 to 105. See also 30, 16, 32, 14. Those who reject the existence of the law of requital actually deny the existence of life beyond physical death. In fact, these two concepts are mutually inclusive and linked. The argument of the people who deny the hereafter is, how can we get another life when our body after death is dust? The Quran states, and they say, what? When we lie, hidden and lost, in the earth, shall we indeed be in a creation renewed? Nay, they deny the meeting with their sustainer. 32, 10. Actually, these people do not believe in the law of requital. Otherwise, if man develops conviction in the law of requital and that his every deed will not remain without a result, then regarding those deeds which have not resulted in a consequence in this life, he will categorically understand that their results will show up after death. This is where belief in the law of requital and the next life are interconnected and essentially part of one reality. The discussion of life in the hereafter will take place later in the book. As far as the law of requital is concerned, the Quran invites our attention to the physical world and the universe around us. What conclusions does man draw from the universe and its functioning? What conclusion does man reach? Is it not that every particle in the universe is tied up in the chains of the law of cause and effect? This system, which enthralls human intellect, is only functioning on the basis that here in this universe each movement of everything produces an effect, and it is these effects which are the natural and immutable laws of nature. So when nothing in this universe can venture out with these laws, how can man, who is the last link in the chain of evolution, be exempt from these laws? In Surah Rum, it asks, do people not pay attention to their own life and to the system of the universe around them? Allah has created this intellect-baffling universe in truth. In truth means this, that the universe is created with a purpose and it is working under a special system. But this is not for an infinite time. Instead, it will continue for a defined period of time. After reflecting on this universal system, what conclusion do you reach? Do you not reach this conclusion that there are immutable laws governing this system? Do they not reflect in their own minds? Not but for just ends and for a term appointed, did Allah create the heavens and the earth, and all between them. Yet are there truly many among men who deny the meeting with their sustainer. 38. After this it is stated that regarding those kind of people who do not wish to reflect on the working of the universe, say to them then, do you not see the ruins of previous populations in which there were nations residing who were more prosperous and powerful than you? The stories of those are written all over in the signs of the ruins they left behind. They provide evidence of the functioning of Allah's law of requital. They will communicate to you that such a nation followed a certain path, and so this was the result of following that path. And another nation followed another kind of path, another system, and its result was different. In this way the reality will become clear to you. Do they not travel through the earth, and see what was the end of those before them? They were superior to them in strength. They tilled the soil and populated it in greater numbers than these have done. There came to them their messengers with clear signs, whom they rejected, to their own destruction. It was not Allah who wronged them, but they wronged their own self. In the long run, evil in the extreme will be the end of those who do evil, for that they rejected the signs of Allah and held them up to ridicule. 39 to 10. This fact was addressed to men who lived 1,400 years ago. But along with this, the Quran states that this technique of reflection to find out knowledge and the reality of the working of the law of requital was applicable not only to them, but to all of mankind for all times. Soon will we show them our signs in the furthest regions of the earth, and in their own self, until it becomes manifest to them that this is the truth. 41:53. Whatever Allah has stated is a sure thing, but in spite of this, they repudiate their meeting with Allah. Are they in doubt concerning the meeting with their Rabb? Likai Rabb. It is He that does encompass all things. 41:54. 5.2 Yawm Talaq, the day of mutual meeting. The day the results of our deeds manifest themselves, and the day of going in front of Allah is also known as Yawm Talaq, that it may warn men of the day of mutual meeting. 40:15. In Surah Zumar it states that when the people destined for hell reach its door, they will be asked. Those who reject truth will be led to hell in crowd, until, when they arrive there, its gates will be opened. And its keepers will say, did not messengers come to you from among yourselves, rehearsing to you the signs of your Rabb, and warning you of the meeting of this day of yours? The answer will be, true, but the decree of punishment has been proved true against those who reject. Kafir 39:71. That day nothing will remain secret or hidden. The deeds which man thought are unknown to others and lay hidden within his self, will all be exposed. That day you will be brought to judgment. Not an act of yours that you hide will be hidden. 69:18. This will be the day of the meeting. The Quran has explained in various ways that each individual will then find what he has sent forward for his next life. For to us will be their return. Then it will be for us to call them to account. 88:25-26. See also 36:51-43, 38:67, 15:67, 24:75, 30. 5.3 Rijat Lillah, going towards Allah. We have earlier explained that in relation to the law of requital, the universe has not been created without a purpose. Regarding this, about man it is declared, did you then think that we had created you in jest, and that you would not be brought back to us? 23:15. The meaning of a creation with a purpose is that human life has a future. There is a destination for the pageant of life. Every individual will determine his place in this future through his own deeds, and this is declared as being Rijat Lillah. We have already written and wish to reiterate that the term Ilahi Rajun, going back to Allah, does not mean that we were first with Allah and then we parted from Him and came into this world and that we will then go back to Him. This belief or doctrine is from the Hindu philosophy of Vedant reincarnation, and from there has been imported to mysticism, Sufism. The philosophy of Vedant is that the human soul, Atma, is part of the divine soul called Paramatma, which after becoming detached from its own origin, has become ensnared in the temptations of the material world. Prakriti. According to this philosophy, the aim of human struggle is to free this soul from the material attractions of life, so that it can rejoin with the divine soul. This way the pain of separation can again become the pleasure of union with its origin. So in this way the human self is absorbed into the divine self and disappears, and this is the purpose of its life. This same philosophy is known as Wadat-e-Wajud, one body, in mysticism. This is a non-Quranic concept. According to the Quran, the human self is not a part of the divine self. This human self is a great asset which has been given to man and none else in the universe. This is what gives man his freedom to choose, and consequently makes him responsible. Man has been given this self in an undeveloped form on earth. And the purpose of human life is that his self should develop to such a degree that he should be able to reach the next evolutionary stage of life. Further details will be available about this aspect in the chapter on life in the hereafter. At this stage it is only necessary to explain that the term Rijat il Lila means that as a consequence of doing deeds in this life he is subject to the law of requital. Regarding this, the word Rijat is used to relate the real-life event where a criminal after committing a crime escapes the crime scene and is then brought back to the area as part of the investigation. Wherever you run to, Allah's law of requital will confront you. So, understand that your escaping is also taking you towards this law. Whereas you are thinking in your mind that by running away from your crime scene, you are heading in some other direction, but in reality you are coming back to meet those very consequences of your crime. Verily, to your Rabb is the return of all. 96. 8. 5.4 Rijat il Lila as it works within this life. This return to Allah with every step of man, like the return of an escaped criminal to court, happens in this life as well as after death. The term Alana Rajun 21:93 does not only mean that you will come back to us after death. It actually means that at every step of your life you are returning to us. This is the meaning of Rajun. The following verses make this clear. To him will be your return, of all of you. The promise of Allah is true and sure. It is he who begins the process of creation, and repeats it that he may reward with justice those who have Iman and work righteousness. 10:4. And to him you will all be brought back. 28:70. And to our Rabb surely must we turn back. 43:14. In relation to this, it is also important to understand that in Surah Baqarah it is stated that those people who in life rise up in the path of divine revolution, for them at every step there will be very hard opposition and strong resistance which they will have to struggle against. They do not become fearful at these times, but whenever a new stage comes in front of them, which requires perseverance and patience, then with unity of heart and great courage they say, who say, when faced with the challenging and difficult tasks, to Allah we belong, and to him is our return. 2:156. Our every step will aim for this objective which we have set up according to divine guidance. If a multitude of difficulties arise, let them. The storm of difficulties will come and we will, without fear of danger, continue to move towards our goal. So, as we were saying, in life man with his every breath is doing Rijat il Lilai. His every step is in the direction of the law of requital, so that the results of his deeds can be evident. The Quran has said this in the following verse. O you who have Iman, guard your own self. If you follow right guidance, no hurt can come to you from those who stray. The goal of you all is to Allah. It is He who will show you the truth of all that you do. 5:105. See also 5:48-6, 66, 164-10, 23-24. 64-29, 8-31, 15-31, 23-39, 7. 5.5 Rijat il Lila as it applies after death. This concept of returning to Allah is not confined to this life. Indeed, it continues beyond the event of physical death. This is why, according to the Quran, the results of human actions manifest both in this life as well as in the life in the hereafter. This is why the Quran mentions Rijat il Lila in various verses dealing with death. For example, in Surah Al-Baqarah, how can you reject Allah, seeing that you were without life, and He gave you life? Then will He cause you to die, and will again bring you to life. And again to him will you return. 2. 28. How can you deny the existence of Allah? Reflect on your condition. Allah began your creation from inert matter, then by going through various evolutionary stages you arrived at your present form. After completing this physical life you then die, and after this He gives you life. In all of these stages you are confined within the boundary of His laws, so after death how do you expect to get out of this boundary of laws? Even now your every step is taking you towards Him, and after death it will be the same. This is noted in Surah In'am. Those who listen, in truth, be sure, will accept it. As to the dead, Allah will raise them up. Then will they be turned unto Him. 6:36. This aspect is further elaborated in Surah Tawbah. And say, work righteousness. Soon will Allah observe your work, and His Messenger, and Mu'mineen. Soon will you be brought back to the knower of what is hidden and what is open. Then will He show you the truth of all that you did. 9:105. This makes the meaning of Rijat Lillah clear. It has been covered in a number of other places in the Quran, c. 9:94-10, 70:21. 35:24, 64:30, 11:32, 11:36, 22:36, 83:50, 43, 62, 8 and 64. 3. 5.6 All matters are referred back to Allah. The verses we have mentioned so far regarding the above matters state that all human beings return to the law of requital according to which the consequences of the deeds are established. At other places it is noted that all matters ultimately are referred back to Allah. This also means that every matter in this world is decided according to the law of requital. For example, but to Allah do all questions go back for decision. Opening parenthesis. 2:210. See also. 11:123-22. 76:35. 4. In Surah Al-Imran this point is further elaborated. Do they seek for other than the deen of Allah, while all creatures in the heavens and on earth have, willingly or unwillingly, bowed to His will, His laws, and to Him shall they all be brought back? 3:83. See also. 3:109. In Surah Shura it is declared, the path of Allah, to whom belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on earth. Behold, all affairs tend towards Allah, as per law. 42:53. See also. 57:58, 44. In Surah Maryam it is stated that the earth and whatever is on it belongs to Allah, and that all matters are decided as per the law of requital, i.e., everything in the outer world is gripped within the confines of the law of cause and effect. 19:40. In human life also, everyone's deeds bear results according to the law of requital, and so also for the future of nations. In Surah Yasin it is stated, see they not how many generations before them we destroyed? Evidence from history. Not to them will they return, but each one of them all will be brought before us. 36:31-32. The nation which believes in this reality, that the result of their every act will be dealt with according to the law of requital, and that they are accountable for what they do, will never resort to tyranny, cruelty and the subjugation of other human beings, because they will know that the results of such doings will ultimately lead to their own destruction. Only that nation which does not believe in the law of requital will resort to exploitation and injustice. In this regard, the Quran has referred to Pharaoh and his cohorts as, and he was arrogant and insolent in the land, beyond reason, he and his hosts. They thought that they would not have to return to us. 28:39. Contrary to this, when the magicians of Pharaoh beheld the truth unfold itself in front of them, they accepted it without any hesitation. At this, when Pharaoh in fury declared, "I will tear you into pieces and hang you," they replied with extreme tranquility in their hearts, "You do whatever you like, your command is only applicable to this physical life, but it cannot go beyond this life." They said, "We have understood this reality, that all matters are decided as per the law of requital." They said, "For us, we are but sent back unto our Rabb." 7. 125. This is that conviction in the working of the law of requital which gives peace and tranquility to man. Come back you to your Rabb, well pleased yourself, and well pleasing unto him. Enter you then among my devotees. 89-27-28. See also 43-14. And this is the Iman and proclamation of every moment that, and in every matter of ours we have to return to the court of Allah. 43-14.